Listen, let me tell you something about this Knicks team. They have the identity. They have the physicality.
We could wake up and the Knicks could be in the conference finals. That's a thing that can happen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again. This is Empire State Hoops Season 2, Episode 3. I'm Adam Rothschild. Alongside me, that would be Matthew Vargo. And today's episode of Empire State Hoops has been powered by Sport Pros USA. For more information, visit sportprosusa.com or call 877-HOOPS-NJ to make your dream court a reality today. So, how was your weekend?
It was all right. Kind of I was about to say quiet, but now thinking about it, not really. Media day here at SU on Sunday. Traveled with other coworkers to Wilkes for Susquehanna basketball doubleheader. Men lost their game, women won their game. So yeah, pretty eventful, I would say.
Yeah, it was a good weekend as well. The media day, of course, I had a great time with that. But getting to the New York Knicks, as we always do, it was an interesting weekend to say the least, and prior to that as well. That game they had against the Indiana Pacers, oh my God. Like, they were down double digits in this game at one point. You have Tyrese Halliburton playing out of his mind. And when he got benched in the fourth quarter, the Knicks bench stepped up. Jalen Brunson stepped up. The man got MVP chance. He was in tears. He was crying tears after they won. Crying tears. It was unbelievable. Such a great win. And you also got to think about this, too. They're without Julius Randle. They're without OG Anunoby, and they're without Quentin Grimes. Mm-hmm. So you talk about the bench points they're getting. You got Malachi Flynn in there getting minutes. You got Deuce McBride in there getting minutes. So it was an unbelievable win for the Knicks. What's your take?
Well, but all I got to say is, Adam, you were probably on cloud 9 after that win. I was kind of off and on with this game. This game was played on Thursday, I believe. I think it was a Thursday.
On my birthday.
Yep, it was. Happy belated birthday, Adam.
Thank you. Yep.
Certainly, it was a good one with these Knicks. But Jalen Brunson, I mean, what more can I say? Best player on the floor. He matched Tyrese Halliburton, and in all honesty, thoroughly outplayed Tyrese Halliburton. He only had 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And if you hold him to that, if you neutralize the head of the snake, you would think that you would never look back after that and just control from there. But no, the Pacers stepped up. Smith, for them, had 20 points. Obi Toppin, former Knick, 12 points. Siakam and Nesmith almost had 20 each. So the other core guys stepped up. But again, Jalen Brunson, very good. DiVincenzo, he didn't shoot particularly well, but he still got 20 points. And, I mean, McBride coming off the bench, giving him 16. I wasn't expecting that, but got to feel good about getting a win like that, especially come from behind against a team that they're hot and cold most of the time, but you'll take it if you can. I think Indiana's the 6th seed right now, so it was good for them in terms of playoff seeding.
Yeah, it's always good finding a glue guy, and Deuce McBride was that guy that night that stepped up. And you also had Achua and Hartenstein, who were also huge on the rebounding side as well, getting extra offensive rebounds when needed. And there was an example of this when DiVincenzo put up a 3 late in the fourth quarter. You have Precious Achua right under the rim right there. Then he does the Bobby Portis scream, right there. Does it as per usual.
Jesus Christ. My God. Okay. All righty then. Yeah, the tip-in, getting the tip-in off the DiVincenzo 3, I mean, that basically iced the game right there, and I was watching highlights of it. The Garden was, that probably might have been the loudest the Garden had been in probably all year. I mean, what was it? Yeah, that was 9 in a row, and we'll get to where the streaks stopped in a little bit because I did call it, but you know what? Take it when you can get it, especially now that the Lakers have now passed by, and I think the schedule becomes a lot more clearer, especially with Dallas being banged up and Philly without their best player down the road. Yeah,
and we'll get to those games later on, of course. But now transition over to where the streak suddenly comes to a close, and it's thankful to the man, the myth, the legend that we talked about last episode that we call King James. And
Goat James.
Goat James comes in with his
I can't do it. I can't do the goat. I can't do the goat sound.
And he comes in with his little puppies, and they come in here. They beat the Knicks. And the one interesting thing about this game, they double-teamed Jalen Brunson over 30 times. The man still dropped 36 in the loss, but the problem was in this game, you didn't have a glue guy. You didn't have anybody stepping up. The Knicks, there was about 5.5 minutes in the fourth quarter where the Knicks didn't score a single point, and the Lakers just kept putting on points. LeBron got 20+, AD got 20+, D'Angelo Russell was great, Austin Reeves was great, and the Lakers have a lot of good things happening right now, so you got to give credit to them when credit is due.
Well, the thing is, I'm sure LeBron... again, like LeBron in the mecca of basketball also had that Knicks towel on at the end of the game. We might talk about that later. I'm not sure. But, I mean, LeBron, what more can I say? He was great. He took a backseat down the stretch with guys like Reeves and Prince popping off, especially Austin Reeves. I mean, what was it? Like 15? I think it might have been Prince and he combined for like 15 of 20 points at one point in the fourth. But that game came down to buckets, and it looked like the Knicks, for the most part, were just in control of the game, but they ran out of buckets at the wrong time. Like, whether it was trying to fight through the paint inside, like, they had a really hard time with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis only had 12 points, but he grabbed 18 rebounds, had 4 blocks, made life like hell for the Knicks bigs. And from downtown, like, DiVincenzo had some good looks, Brunson had some good looks, just didn't get them, and again, that was a big reason the streak ended.
Well, when you have Jericho Sims in there against Anthony Davis, it never goes well because
it's over.
You can't have a guy who, was from a slam dunk contest and took out a paper and was like, 50. You can't guard Anthony Davis like that when you do that. But Sims is a tough matchup for him. But AD can really go against anybody, and that's the problem. The Knicks didn't have the rebounding. If they had Julius Randle, if they had Anunoby, this game would have been a lot different. The fourth quarter could have been a lot different, but the Lakers just had the advantage in this game for sure.
Absolutely. And the thing is with the Lakers is you were talking about D'Lo coming into the game. D'Lo was on a tear. This was the rare case. This was a case where down the stretch that they got the D'Lo off game. Only 5 of 14 shooting, 16 points. He was a -6 when he was on the floor. So, again, a game where he was off, they just couldn't take advantage of it. Now, I would think Anunoby and Randall, if they're healthy, are like the game would be a lot different. They'd be able to. I should be able to. I'm fumbling with the words, man, but
it's all good.
Yeah, they would have been able to handle Anthony Davis and LeBron in the front court much better. But you'll take it because think about it. Philly's falling apart because Joel Embiid got hurt. Milwaukee, the coaching change thus far hasn't done anything. Cleveland's really hot though. Cleveland moved up to the 2 seed, and again, they're only one game out of the 2. And then there's Boston. I think we could all agree nobody's going to catch Boston in the East. They're going to be the 1 seed again. And just kind of see if you can get to the 2 seed, host the first 2 rounds. I think, how long has it been since the Knicks made the conference finals? Since 99?
I'm pretty sure it was 99, yeah.
Yeah,
99.
I think, if this is the year you're going to finally break the drought, now's the time to do it. Philly's down, Milwaukee's up and down, and Cleveland, they would have no reason to fear Cleveland because they've already beaten them. Although, I do think Cleveland this year, I think they're better than they were last year. They got more depth pieces, and they finally got healthy because early on, everybody just got hurt. But I think it's, right now, you'd have to say it's like, the Knicks might be the second or third best team in the East. Like, it very well might be the case.
Yeah, I think they've proved it right now because we just mentioned, of course, all the other teams that are banged up, like the Phillies, the Bucks, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But before we get to our next thing, I wanted to touch on this real quick about the Cavaliers because I'm really happy you brought that up. They're the 2 seed in the East right now. They're number 2, and that's scary because we talked about how the Cavaliers earlier in the year, they were banged up. Garland went out for some time. Evan Mobley was out for some time. Jared Allen wasn't healthy. And they were just running on Donovan Mitchell, and you can't just run with Donovan Mitchell.
And the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors were also, they were simmering, but they never really got out of control. Now, he still hasn't signed an extension, so that's another topic for its own day. But yeah, there was a lot of drama and tension surrounding the Cavs early on, but they have right the ship.
I'm sure Cleveland will do that as the season goes on with the playoffs coming up in a couple months, of course, in late March, early April.
Yep.
And the All-Star game. I wanted to go back to the All-Star game a little bit because I know we talked about how Jalen Brunson got summoned and all that, but how do you hire Doc Rivers? He just got hired by the Bucks to replace Adrian Griffin, and you hire him as the head coach of the Eastern Conference All-Star team. Mm-hmm. I think his reaction is absolutely perfect because you shouldn't have the right to do that. It should go to, you were talking about with me the other day, Joe Mazzulla, the best team in the East, the Celtics. He should be the head coach. Why do you give it to Doc?
I don't know. I guess because Joe Mazzulla is a young guy, and they just didn't really want to have, and Doc's like a proven guy. I don't know. I think because it's weird. I thought it still went by the format of if you're the 1 seed in your respective conference, you coach the East or West All-Stars. Again, happy that they brought back the East versus the West rather than the drafts that they used to do. They were entertaining drafts, but I missed the old school format of East versus West. And yeah, I think it should be Joe Mazzulla. The Western Conference, they at least got right, I guess temporarily, because Minnesota just recently fell to the 2 seed, but at the time they were the 1. So Chris Finch is now coaching the Western All-Stars, but I mean, hey, they got half of it right. They just should have given it to Mazzulla, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Chris Finch is a good fit there for the Western Conference, and the All-Star game being back in the East-West format. Hopefully, it's a good turnout. I think it should be better this year. The 3-point contest contestants also got revealed as well. A couple of them did.
Yep.
Jalen Brunson is in it. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. Steph's going against Ionescu though. That's a separate thing, I think.
Yeah, it might be because I think we're all just numb to Steph being in the 3-point contest. I mean, come on, he's the greatest shooter of all time. Lauri Markkanen's in the 3-point contest. I'm pretty sure Tyrese Maxey also got named to the 3-point contest. It's also getting to the point where I enjoy watching the 3-point contest more than the dunk contest these days because, at least for the 3-point contest, like, for the most part, we get star players. With the dunk contest, we kind of just get, like, these guys who are, like, bench players or young guys or really hyper-athletic guys from the G League. I mean, I guess that's what it's good we got Matt McClung last year because he took over the dunk contest last year. But, yeah, I prefer watching the 3-point contest more than the dunk contest nowadays.
Yeah, I kind of feel that same way too, but like I think I have a message for Adam Silver. You, my friend, need to save the dunk contest. You got to save it. Bring us back to the Vince days. Bring us back to those times because we desperately need it.
I don't even think we necessarily need the Vince Carter days. Like, just
like put LeBron in there, or put like Jaylen Brown said the other day he would be in it. Like I would like him in there. That'd be good.
Absolutely, but we don't even need that. Just give us Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon. I mean, I guess now we can't because Zach LaVine got hurt and he's done for the year. Give us, like, Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon part 3, I think it would be.
Yeah, part 3.
Yeah, part 3. Like, bring it back. Like, those two, I still am a firm believer. 2016 dunk contest was peak dunk contest, the best I've ever seen. What those two going back and forth with Gordon's like jump over the Orlando mascot, some of Levine's like crazy like handles and like moves through the air. God, it was so good. We got to bring it back.
I mean, right when you saw Zach LaVine at the 2015 All-Star game come out with the Space Jam uniform, that first like behind the back throwdown, like that was unbelievable.
That was loved it.
Like especially with it being at the Garden too, that was like insane. That was crazy.
I just think Aaron Gordon doesn't really want to do it anymore because I'll agree with him on this. He got absolutely screwed in 2019. It was where he lost to Derrick Jones Jr.
Oh, that was 2020.
That was 2020
in Chicago.
Oh yeah, that was like right before the pandemic started.
Yeah,
but yeah, he got like shafted in that contest by D Wade. So I think that's why like he's not coming back anymore. And I think Levine said something like he wants to win the 3-point contest. So I guess the dream of seeing like a World War III between those guys is done. But I'll appreciate the 2 that we did get of them.
Well, it happens to be that certain way, and just things go that way, and. You know, All-Star Weekend hasn't been the same in a while, but hopefully it gets a little bit of a turnaround this year. But
last year's All-Star game was awful. I don't know if you watched it. Like, Mike Malone came out and said, worst game of basketball I've ever seen. Like, it was terrible.
Because the players don't, like, it's not even about, like, trying anymore. It's like...
Yeah. It was all, like, logo threes or, like, uncontested dunks. Like, that's all it was. It got so bad, I just kept it in the corner while I worked on homework or something.
It's like the players don't listen to the coaches. They don't. Like, they just play the way they want to play. Like, I remember I mean, Julius Randle was in the All-Star game last year, and Brunson got snubbed, of course. But it made sense though for Brunson, though, even though it was like his first year. But still, watching the All-Star game last year, I don't think it was like that great. But
it was not that good.
I'm hoping this year is better.
I'm hoping it's better this year because overall, like the All-Star like rosters, there's not really like any huge like egregious snubs, at least in my opinion. At least none that I can think of. Like maybe going with I was gonna say maybe Paul George, but Paul George has still been really good, and I mean you could argue maybe Banchero shouldn't have gotten in over Trae Young, although I do think Trae Young's getting on like as an injury replacement for the East. Like I don't know, but I think they got the people this year for it to be a really good All-Star game.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good this year. I think, Julius Randle's not going to play, obviously, because of his injury. But
Embiid's not going to play either.
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple replacements for the reserves, which will be nice, but still. Anyways, now getting to our next thing before we head to our break, I wanted to touch on the trade deadline because we got the trade deadline coming up this Thursday. So what teams will make moves? Do the Knicks make moves? Do any other teams make moves? Does it make sense to make moves? What's going to happen? There's a couple names that have been thrown around. One of them has been Bruce Brown.
Yep. He's on the Raptors, and has he even played a game for the Raptors?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Okay, so he's been playing.
Yeah.
It's not very meaningful, I guess, because I haven't really heard his name too often, but yeah, he's looking to get dealt. He only really went to Indiana for the money because after winning the chip, he's trying to cash in, get that big payday, and the Pacers gave it to him. I think he's either going to the Knicks or he's going back to Denver. I know Denver was rumored to maybe bring him back. I think Atlanta's going to sell DeJounte Murray, even though I don't think Quinn Snyder, the coach, wants him to trade him, but it's clear, I think Atlanta's going to be the biggest sellers at the deadline. In my opinion, I think they're going to sell not everybody, but basically like anyone other than Trey, Jalen Johnson, or
DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah. I don't think any of them are. I think a lot of their other guys are extremely movable. Hornets are also going to be another big seller. The Nets, I think, should sell. They're not going to because what did they reject? Like 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges?
Yeah, he's staying there. He's not going to move.
I would have taken that offer and ran.
Yeah.
I don't know who was offering it, but I would have taken that in a heartbeat. Grizzlies are going to sell guys. Do the Warriors sell Clay or Draymond?
I think that's an off-season thing for Golden State because
Yeah.
people are declaring the dynasty is over and all that stuff.
is.
I mean, they're Steph's 35, Clay is up there, Draymond's up there.
Yeah.
I think after what's happened this year with them just falling apart and, Draymond doing some stupid stuff, which I really don't want to get into, but
Moron.
it's just, not good. And I think it's just about figuring it out because Golden State's got to figure it out. I think the door's basically closed now unless they get something else because I think the Chris Paul trade is something they're going to regret because Jordan Poole was on the cusp of, being a star in this league, and now I would say a star. I would say more of a role player.
I think he could have molded into a type of great sixth man of the year candidate. They only did it because he and Draymond and the other core guys, they just didn't get along with each other. I mean, Chris Paul, he was fine. In the games he's actually played, he's missed some games. But that was just kind of more of just kind of a panic move to get to just kind of shake up the roster and improve the chemistry. Problem is that when you've got a roster this old as this is what you get. It's reminding me a whole lot of the Lakers in 2022 when they had LeBron, AD, and Westbrook all together, and that didn't work out. But overall, the deadline this year I don't think is going to be as crazy as last year's deadline was. Because, to be fair, you're not going to be able to really top KD going to the Suns. Russ finally getting traded for the Lakers, getting bought out, and then heading over to the Clippers. What other big, deadline moves?
Kyrie to Dallas last year, too.
Kyrie to the Mavs. I mean, that was a rare exception where we got, a bunch of big guys on the move. But, yeah, I think it's going to be mostly ho-hum. I think the biggest fish is obviously DeJounte. I thought Zach LaVine, but then I heard the market was dry, and then he got hurt, and now he's done for the year. So why you would trade for him now, I don't know. But we'll see. You said, the deadline's in 3 days?
I believe it's on this Thursday.
Wow.
I believe this Thursday. So it came quick.
Yeah.
And then the All-Star breaks the weekend after this one because we got The Super Bowl coming up this weekend, of course.
That's right.
Of course. Yeah, your pick, Chiefs or 49ers. What are you thinking?
Off topic, yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm gonna put on record. I don't really like either of these teams, but I guess I'm just going with the Chiefs. They've dominated better teams. They beat the Bills. They really pushed around the Ravens and the Niners. I just don't see it, dude. That's 2 comeback wins against the Packers and the Lions. I feel like you gotta flex at some point and make it easy on yourself. I just think Mahomes is better than Brock Purdy. Andy Reid a better coach, in my opinion, than Kyle Shanahan. I think the defense, slight edge goes to the Chiefs. I don't know, man. I think the Chiefs win, and I'm going to argue, I think they kind of win it comfortably by around 10 points.
Mr. Irrelevant, I got you. Go out there, do your thing. I know the Swifties are out there looking for you, but I'm going with the 49ers, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl. I think it'll be good.
Are we going to get the Taylor Swift proposal at the very end?
That's if the Chiefs win. If the Chiefs win, if they win, I've been saying it all year. I'm like, is it going to happen? It's if the Chiefs win. It's if they win. So we're gonna find out and see what happens with that. Of course, the Super Bowl, and we'll get back to some more New York Knicks talk after the break here on episode 3 of season 2 of Empire State Hoops. We'll be right back.
Hey there, basketball fans. Are you ready to take your love for the game to a whole new level? Well, listen up. We've got something that will make your hoop dreams come true. Introducing Sport Pros USA, the ultimate destination for all your backyard sport court needs. Whether you're a diehard Knicks fan or just looking for some slam dunk fun with your family, Sport Pros USA has got you covered. Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon in New York, and you step out onto your very own custom-built backyard basketball. Comebacks, and endless laughter. So why wait? Give us a call at 877-HOOPS-NJ or visit SportProsUSA.com today to start designing your very own backyard basketball court. Remember, at Sport Pros USA, we believe that every home deserves a court, and every family deserves the joy of playing together. So don't just watch the game, be a part of it.
And we're back here on episode 3 of season 2 of Empire State Hoops. I'm Adam Rothschild. Alongside me, Matt Vargo. And now getting to the last part of the episode here, we're going to preview some of the upcoming games. One of them being tonight, of course, against the Memphis Grizzlies, which we talked about a little before we went live, about how they're kind of, their injuries right now. Not a lot of players getting minutes. You mentioned around 8 players, you were saying, are active and stuff like that.
I think it was for their previous game, the Grizzlies. They only had 8 players active. Yeah, it was against Boston, and they lost by 40 points.
Oh, the Marcus Smart tribute video.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with that if the Knicks can beat the Grizzlies tonight. OG Anunoby is out, Quentin Grimes is out, and Julius Randle is also out tonight. So it will most likely be the same rotation-wise against Indiana and against the Lakers that we saw.
Yeah, I think they're going to win this game pretty comfortably. I mean, for the Grizzlies, there was hope when Ja came back. I mean, I think they won their first 3 games when Ja came back from the suspension. But they were already very battered by the time he had come back. Like, Brandon Clark, done for the year. Steven Adams was done for the year. And now they've traded him, so he's gone. Smart's probably going to get dealt. And then, Ja went down, obviously. It's just been the season from hell, and maybe it's a good thing because maybe they can just tank and get maybe another third piece to build around Ja and Desmond Bane. I'll even throw Jaren Jackson in there as well. But this is just a year. It's the year from hell. Just ride it out, rack up the L's, get a high pick, and move from there. So, yeah, I think the Knicks should blow these guys out. Even with their injuries, they should blow them out.
This is what you get for poking bears. Rebuilding time. tanking time. Here you go.
Don't mess with LeBron James when you're Dylan Brooks. If it was Ja, maybe that's something because Ja's done something. Like, this is Dylan Brooks who's is making fun of the GOAT. Oh God, I'm like losing it thinking about it. Like, I like laughed at it. It was like, I don't respect somebody until they drop 40 on me. Yeah, you lost by 40 points in Game 6, Dylan. In a weird way, you got 40 dropped on you. Anyway. Hopefully, I mean, thankfully he's doing better now in Houston, but still, I feel like he's just going to be remembered for that wherever he goes from now on.
Yeah, I think it's always the Dylan Brooks memories that happen with the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's also funny, too, because he was playing there when Marc Gasol was still playing there, before Marc Gasol's career ended.
Oh, yeah. Marc Gasol just retired recently, too.
Yeah, he did. He announced his retirement recently. So it's such a great career. Marc Gasol, NBA champion with the Raptors.
He'll go to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. Great career with Memphis. Defensive Player of the Year.
He won a ring.
Yeah, with Toronto, yeah.
Yep.
One of the best centers in the league, playing with Zach Randolph.
Yep.
Such a great talent in this league. It was great. A bunch of great players from Spain, of course. Marc Gasol is a great example of that, of course. But yeah, getting back to that. So the Knicks, they should be able to handle them tonight. So that should go according to plan. The next game on their schedule, the good old Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
Mark Cuban's not there anymore.
Nope.
But
he's gone.
They got Luka. They got Kyrie. They got a great coach in Jason Kidd, Hall of Fame point guard. Now a coach.
Former Knick,
of course, played his last season of his career with the New York Knicks in 2013.
That's right.
And what is it going to take against Dallas? This is a national. I'm pretty sure this game's on TNT. I'm pretty sure.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I think what it's going to take, lots of defense. Who's going to match up with Dwight Powell is the question. Probably Hartenstein, Achua. They'll be fine with that because he's not a super tall, but he's a very talented center in this league. He's been probably one of the more underrated centers, I would say.
I would say more Maxi Kleber is probably going to be at the starting center spot for the Mavericks. But I mean, for Dallas, they started off hot, kind of cooled off a little bit. I know Luka and Kyrie were dealing with some injuries, but they came back last night against the 76ers, blew them out, and kind of getting some good vibes back in the building. They play Brooklyn tonight, and in Brooklyn, obviously, and then they go to the Knicks to finish their little East Coast trip. But for the Mavericks, that's their third game in 4 days, and they're already dealing with some injuries. And I think for Kyrie against the 76ers, that was his first game back in about a week or two. So another game of two teams kind of just trying to prevail against injuries to key players. I'm kind of leaning more towards Dallas because I wonder, do the Knicks have enough guys on the perimeter if OG doesn't come back to handle Kyrie and Luka? Because credit to them, they've found a way to make it work this year. Now, are they an elite team? Will I pick them to win the title? No, but I think they could definitely win a series against a team like the Clippers or the Timberwolves, Sacramento. Maybe, I don't think OKC or Denver, but still. Like, I think it'll be a good game, but I think the Mavs probably eke it out.
Yeah, I like the direction that Dallas is going. I know they gave up a lot for Kyrie and through the trade deadline last year, but it's honestly working out in a good way because you have two guys we know that like to have the ball in their hands all the time. But it's a great thing they were able to figure it out. That's what I wanted to see out of this trade. I wanted to see these two guys work together, and Kyrie seems to be happy there since he's gotten there, and Luka has adjusted to it, and now he's in a good position now. So once they get those two back healthy, yeah, I could see them winning one playoff series, maybe two, but I would say give them another year or two. They could be in contention for a championship, but they got to get more pieces around. That's what it's going to be, I think, for Dallas.
Shout out to the Grant Williams move. I think it was a sign-in. Was it a sign-in trade or just a straight-up free agent signing? But I think it might have been a sign-in trade. But he's been good for them. I mean, he got clowned on for another poke in the bear. He poked Jimmy, and it came back and bit him in the rear end. But yeah, it's been good for them, and for once, and like for Kyrie, you want to know what the biggest thing with Kyrie? No drama.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any stories coming out of Kyrie this year. Like, it's genuinely alarming that it's been, like, almost a full calendar year and he hasn't done anything stupid.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be, like, a new record since his Cleveland days.
No, yeah, it's been, I mean, since the Boston days, too, honestly. I think, because when it started when he said he got in front of TD Garden, right center court, and said, I'm going to re-sign this offseason. And he
did.
lied to an entire fan base of millions of people and then went to the Brooklyn Nets.
I think, well, sorry to cut you off there,
Yeah,
but
no.
I think Kyrie did want to stay in Boston long term, but the team obviously went to the Eastern Finals without him when he was out for the injury. Then the team regressed. The fan base turned on him. He got tired of being the guy on. Because, let's be real, it's hard to be the guy of an NBA contender, and he found that out the hard way. And ever since he's moved on to Brooklyn, well, Brooklyn was like its own disaster. We could probably talk for 90 minutes about how that team fell apart, but now he's not the guy. He can just go out there, just hoop. Luka's the guy. So that's why I feel like Kyrie's in a good situation now.
Yeah, no, it's happy to see him succeeding and everything. I love this for him because he's such a great talent, and you don't want stuff off the court to, just take away from your talent. And it's sad to see that sometimes, especially when he was with the Nets and there was so many issues, with COVID and him not getting the vaccine and stuff like that.
Some of the other stuff he did was also not great.
No.
But he appears to have found peace, and I applaud him for that. So let's just keep it going, Kyrie. I'm in your corner. You're fun as hell to watch, and I'm behind you. Put it behind you.
We're here for you, Kyrie. We're here for you. Don't worry. We got you, all right? Just keep up the good work. That's all you got to do. And now, let's wrap this up with one final game. It's a game that we recapped that we're now going to preview again. Mm-hmm. So, the rematch of the rivalry from the 90s, the Knicks and the Pacers again.
Yep, they're back.
It's not Reggie Miller. It's Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm-hmm. He's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, it was close enough, though. But, the coach that was there was coaching Reggie Miller when he was there. But what's it going to take again? Because Indiana is going to come out hungry. You know they will. You know Tyrese. Because another thing about Tyrese in that game, he was getting less minutes because of the injury he was coming out because he missed the previous 10 games. Mm-hmm. So that was his first game back, and he was slowly figuring out the offense again. So we'll see if he can figure it out again. And I'm sure he's going to get more minutes now because of other games before this one. Mm-hmm. So what do the Knicks have to be ready for, and what is it going to take?
Well, I feel like this time I guess, for one thing, don't let them get out to a double-digit lead again, because this game is being played in Indiana rather than MSG, am I right?
I think it's New York again.
They're playing in New York again. Wow.
I think it is, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, simple. Just don't get out to don't fall behind by double digits. I feel like Halliburton, you could clearly tell he was kind of trying to shake off some rust, but I feel like he'll be more in the swing of things by the time they play again. And it's only in 4 days, but much like the Mavericks, it's kind of another tight part of their schedule that they have to deal with. It's their third game in 6 days, not terrible, but I think all those games are on the road, but I could be wrong about that as well. And again, when do you think OG's coming back? Because he's been out for a little bit.
It should be, hopefully, I think he's day-to-day, so he might be back for that game, so it's hopefully, they're saying probably either before or maybe right after the All-Star break, because the All-Star break's coming up, so the Knicks don't have that many games left before the All-Star break. So
yeah,
we'll see when that happens, and hopefully hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that if he does come back, that should help. That should help in the front court guarding Siakam and Miles Turner. Yeah, Miles Turner is still there, always on the trade block, but he never left Indiana, and it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip game because the Pacers, on any given day, this all offense, if their shots are falling, it's a nightmare. They're not going to, now you might get all of it back on defense, but still, when this team is hot, they gave Milwaukee fits. They've beaten Milwaukee, I think, 3 times. So you know how dangerous they are. But I would say, I think the Pacers probably, in all honesty, get them back because they're going to be hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're definitely going to be hungry, of course, and Halliburton's going to get a lot more minutes. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing you're going to have to watch because it's been a couple days now since the coming off of the injury. So that's going to be another thing to watch too. So I think there's going to be a lot of players that are going to have to step up. I think in particular, Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo are going to have to make some big-time shots down the stretch, especially early on in the game, getting points. Brunson's going to have to find his open teammates, off-ball screens, keep the ball moving, pick and rolls, do what you got to do.
Yeah. I think that another point of conversation for this one is And I mean, I guess I alluded to with OG maybe on Miles Turner, but Miles Turner's just a much bigger guy. I guess that would force Hartenstein on him. And the last thing I think I would probably want to mention is obviously Tibbs versus Rick Carlisle. You got two very good coaches. We'll see which one can push the right buttons, come out, and just see if they can get the job, get some positive momentum into the break. Because I think it's the Knicks' second or third to last game before the All-Star break. I think the All-Star game is on the 18th this year, I think. So, yeah, because it's the Pacers, then the Rockets, then the Magic, and then the 76ers out of the All-Star break. But we'll get to that in the next episode because now we're going off a little bit too far.
Yeah, we'll get to those games, of course, in our next episode when the Knicks have a couple more games come up before the All-Star break against Houston, Orlando, and your Philadelphia 76ers, who are not doing so well right now, which we'll get to in the next episode, of course, with Joel Embiid being out. Mm-hmm. And this episode of Empire State Hoops has been powered by Sport Pros USA. For more information, visit sportprosusa.com or call 877-HOOPS-NJ to make your dream court a reality today. So, we'll see how the Knicks do this week. We got the All-Star break coming up. Don't forget Super Bowl Sunday, Chiefs 49ers, that's coming up, of course.
I'll be watching. I'll even get plastered while I'm at it. Legally, of course.
And, of course, we got the 49ers in there, too. We'll see if my Niners win, even though I'm a Jets fan. But, yeah, we'll get the idea here. And from here, it's Adam Rothschild, it's Matthew Vargo, and we'll see you next time here on Empire State Hoops. See you, everyone.
Peace.